Welcome to Northern Lights. I'm Dwain.
I'm Mark, and today we were just after the fallout of UFC London with Aspinall versus Volkov. We're just going to discuss the UFC heavyweight division in general and just what's next for most of the top 5 or 6 compares. See what you think.
Exactly.
But we start out because obviously Francis has got a knee injury and he's going to be out for at least 9 months. But Francis wasn't exactly an active fighter anyway.
No, he wasn't overly active, and is he even going to re-sign? That's the real question, isn't it? Like, if he doesn't re-sign, what happens with the belt? You know.
Well, yeah.
Obviously they'll have to vacate it, but then who's going to take that belt? You know. And if he does re-sign, who's he going to fight?
Well, what everyone seems to go for is Stipe, but Stipe is in, he's late 30s now, and I know he's a full-time firefighter and stuff, and he's not exactly active as well. I'd still like to see a Stipe versus Derek Lewis.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd still like to see that, but I think Derek's kind of dropped a little bit since your boy Ty came. But, in general, Stipe, he just seems to be up there somewhere, because there's a lot of talk about maybe John Jones when he comes up. I don't regard any sort of John Jones chart as true until he actually...
Yeah, until he's actually there, isn't it? Because the thing with John Jones, if he does come up to heavyweight, it might be really interesting, or he might just get cream crackered straight away because there's some big guys there. But I think the big issue with Stipe is, I think, he's obviously a great fighter, very well-rounded, but the heavyweight division, when he was competing in it, I'm not trying to belittle any of the heavyweights, but it kind of felt like a stand and bang division, and then there was DC and Stipe, and just we're gonna hold everyone down and batter them. Is that maybe I'm sort of putting them down a little bit too much, but it sort of felt like that.
Well, no, I'll get what you mean, yeah, because obviously there was some killers at the time.
Yeah.
It's easy when people say, "Oh, you remember Alistair Overeem versus Stipe," that kind of thing. But Alistair was a murderer at one stage, though, wasn't he?
Well, talking of Overeem, when he got cream crackered by Blades, and now we're on to Curtis Blades, he fought last weekend against what? Is it Chris Daukaus or?
Chris Daukaus, yeah.
I was getting mixed up with his brother.
Yeah, well, I said to you, because that was after the London card, and this was on at a terrible time, I said, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to stay up for it. It's Curtis Blades is going to be a lay and pray. And I happened to be up at that time. I said, go on, I'll watch this last one.
Yeah.
Oof, not one takedown attempt. And
I know.
it was like 17 seconds in the second round that he knocked him out.
And he came out of nowhere. I didn't even realise what had happened. I was like, I think I was like looking down, I was just playing on my phone or whatever. I was like,
yeah.
I didn't even realise. Because that's the thing, like we said earlier, we weren't even going to stay up and watch it. I thought, we're already up, we'll watch it. And it was like, like we're a couple, like we're together already watching it.
Yeah. Oh, we're both meaning to it. We're both up. We'll just watch this together. But
I'm glad we stayed up to watch it, though. I'm glad it was a good card, a good fight overall.
Yeah, well, it was just, like I said, so unexpected. I mean, the obvious bet would have just been Curtis.
To win by like a decision, laying on top of him for 5 rounds.
Because his last one, I think it was against Rosenstrike.
Oh, okay.
It was just 3 rounds, clinching against the fence and that kind of stuff. So that kind of leaves a bitter taste in a fan's mouth. I'm saying, in our filthy casual mouth. There's probably some people that are sitting there, that's just what it is. But
well, he called Stipe out afterwards, didn't he? So maybe he'll fight Stipe, or maybe Cyril Gane. But then, what happens with Cyril Gane then? Who does he fight next? I'd love to see him versus Aspinall. I think that'd be a great fight.
Well, I'd prefer that over my nightmare of Aspinall versus Tuivasa. But
I don't want to see that.
Seriously, Aspinall's last fight against Volkov,
he destroyed him.
There wasn't a hole in his game. I know it didn't last long. It was in the first round, but there literally wasn't. You see how quick he was on the feet?
Yeah.
I know this is the first round, so it's very easy to say someone's quick. Everyone's quick in the first round.
But especially for a heavyweight, he's very, very fast.
Well, everyone. It's good that people are noticing him a lot more now as well. Because he's had a few fights in UFC, but now he's up there.
Yeah.
He's just...
What's he ranked, like 5th or 6th now, I think, isn't he, after he beat Volkov?
Something like that, but I mean, I think that'd make more sense for, as much as I hate to admit, for a Ty and Tom fight. Because Ty beat Derek Lewis, who was number 3, and he was ranked number 11. He jumped up that far.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to give Ty a belt right at the very minute.
No, definitely not. I don't think he's ready for that. I mean, I think he's an excellent fighter, but I just think if he goes up against someone very technical like Gane or Aspinall, I think he's going to get beat. And you know, and I love him as a fighter. I think he's great. You know,
look what happened with Derek and Garn last year.
Yeah.
For the interim. That interim was just there, pointless.
Yeah.
Like there was no point in that interim belt. But
I think they were trying to apply a bit of pressure on Francis then, weren't they? You know, not that we're making this about politics, well, UFC politics, but it felt like, right, if we get someone doing an interim, we kind of force.
I thought it was just to spice the card up a little bit.
Yeah,
like, rather than it being like because they wouldn't have a big rivalry or anything like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I mean, there's a few left in there, but they're the top 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And I think they're all sort of they might be tied up, but at the minute everything's just all up in the air. And obviously with Francis out.
Who do you think? So do you think we'll get an interim fight next? Who do you think's going for the interim belt?
Well, Stipe is very quiet.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about him coming back or anything like that. He's always in the crowd and that kind of stuff. But I think Aspinall's really in one of his last interviews before his Volkov fight, he said, "I did want to take my time before, but now I'm thinking, why? Why would I do that?" So I think he might even push himself. He's just destroyed Volkov, who's been in some battles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he's ready. Him and look, I know, like I said, I hate to see it, but him and Ty is becoming one of them where I'm like, I'd be curious to see what happens then. As much as I love them both, I think Tom would beat him.
Yeah. Oh, easily. I think not easily. I don't want to say that because you know, Ty is a monster. But so what you think? Maybe Ty and Tom for the interim?
Yeah, I think because I don't think Garn's going to get it straight away because he's just lost to the champion.
Yeah.
It's only very few times when you get a belt thrown at you again and again.
I'm going to go boring. I think we're going to get Curtis Blades versus probably Garn for the interim belt. And I know that's a super boring fight.
I wouldn't say that's boring. I'd say that.
Oh, I mean a boring answer, should I say? I think that's a boring choice. But I just think Blades, he's so high up. Yeah, fine, he's been knocked out. But I mean, like, you know, getting knocked out by killers isn't necessarily the worst.
Yeah, everyone seems to think that it's a career ender when you get battered by absolute murderers.
And he's getting knocked out most of the time when he's coming in for a takedown, so he's got to be careful with that.
Yeah, seems like he's evolved it though and changed his game up completely. But
maybe even a DC comeback, that'd be good.
He's enjoying life way too much to come back into fight. Every UFC event, he just gets bigger and bigger, doesn't he? He just sat there like a fan, box of popcorn as well.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I think that'll probably do us. Thanks everyone for watching. If you can like and subscribe, it really, really helps us out. We'll see you next time.